Well, welcome back to another Dadvocate video. Hold on, Prince Unicorn wants to tell me something. What's that, buddy? You want them to like the stream already? And you wanted to thank the YouTube and Patreon members for sponsoring this video? Golly, Prince, that's thoughtful of you. Prince Unicorn and I have noticed that there is almost an endless amount of social media inspired relationship tests that women insist on putting their partners through. They see these trendy videos designed to test their boyfriend or husband's allegiance or whether or not he is a good or participating enough partner. And a lot of them really treat this as just a form of discernment and making sure that they are picking the right guy. These tests include, but are not limited to, the ketchup test, where a woman squirts a large pile of ketchup onto a table and then asks her man to clean it up. A, to see if he will, to see if he's obedient enough, and B, to see how well he manages to actually clean it, to see if he is competent enough. We also have the orange peel theory, where you ask your man if he will peel an orange for you. And if he does so immediately and without question, he's a keeper. But if he for any reason asks you why you cannot peel your own orange, or worse, outright refuses, then he is a red flag and you are to dump him immediately. Oh, but we're not done, folks. We've also got the bird test. This is when you point out something small or mundane, like a bird, to see if your man will get excited about it. And if he does not, he's never going to be able to match your energy. He's a terrible person. Dump him. We've got the Beckham test, named after David and Victoria Beckham, who are known for public displays of affection, such as dancing together. In this test, you put on a song and start dancing to it. And if your man does not immediately join you in dance, well, he hates you, and it's time to dump him. The twirl test. Ask your man if he will take a video twirling you in the middle of a crowded street. If not, he hates you as usual. There's the strawberry field test, where you ask your man if he passed a field of strawberries and no one was looking, would he eat the strawberries? This is, of course, an analogy for infidelity. If he would eat the strawberries, he's a terrible, heinous cheater. If he wouldn't eat the strawberries, he will stay faithful to you forever. Huh? Oh, and they created a new olive theory, guys. My understanding was that the original olive theory from How I Met Your Mother is that with your soulmate, if one of you likes olives, the other one will not like olives, and that's how you know. But with this new olive test, the idea is that if you are unwilling to give up something that you also like, such as an olive, for your partner, if they like them more, well, you're a failure, absolutely. These tests are all very popular and all very problematic. Today, I want to go into a couple of new tests that women are coming out with and the obvious consequences that are bound to follow. Starting with the hot tub flirting test. This reads, texting my husband that a guy was flirting with me in the hot tub. It has licensed music, so we're going to leave it quiet. He checks his phone, reads it, and immediately puts it down and keeps sunbathing. Caption reads, well, that didn't go as planned. I really don't think that these grown-ass women understand that we all see right through this. You know what you're trying to do. I know what you're trying to do. Your husband definitely knows what you're trying to do. This is a test that is designed to try to manufacture insecurity out of the husband by creating this fictional threat. She is alluding that there is some other guy trying to make moves on her while she is in a, I guess, vulnerable or intimate position, being in a bikini or swimsuit in the hot tub. And this is kind of like a gentler version of trying to get two different guys at the bar to fight over you. Like, in this situation, the guy who's allegedly flirting with her probably doesn't actually exist. She's just trying to get a rise out of him, trying to get a reaction out of him. And it's just so weird because it looks like they're on vacation, or at least on a day trip that's meant to be relaxing. Why are you trying to start a fight? Why are you trying to make problems right now? Like, I've always hated when people accused women of just trying to start drama, because I always thought that that was very reductionist and short-sighted. Like, most women don't want to be mad. They don't want there to be problems. It's just going to happen if they get offended or hurt. In this case, though, I don't think that there is any threat or any problem whatsoever. She really is just trying to create drama for no reason. Now, to be a bit charitable here, maybe there was some guy flirting with her and hitting on her, and maybe she did feel genuinely uncomfortable and wanted him to step in. It's just the reason that I didn't immediately go down that route or assume things were that way is I feel like in that predicament you would text your man or even call him and say something like, someone is harassing me, please help. But that's not what she sent. No, I think that we can all agree she was trying to make her man jealous. And as you can see, it didn't work. Why? Well, one, because your husband probably trusts you and recognizes that you are a full-grown adult with autonomy and the ability to stick up for herself. And again, unless you're in danger, he should be able to trust you to deal with that. A man should not have to aggressively step in and puff out his chest just to get a guy to stop talking to you. You should be able to say, I'm not interested in talking to you on your own. Like, your husband should really only be there if they really won't leave you alone. But I mean, shit, at that point, you could even get staff involved so you don't even have to throw your husband down some liability rabbit hole. It's not exactly safe for men to just get into fights with random other men. Like, I'm sure one of the things your husband is thinking, or at least hoping he should be able to think, is that a man should not even have the opportunity to get close to you because you will shut it down. It's like men cannot win in these situations. If he has an extremely strong reaction to this, then he's clearly insecure. And if he just ignores it, does he even care about you? Why would you put him in that position? But in addition to the fact that he should be able to just trust you to handle this, he also probably knows by now that you're fucking with him. Men are not as dumb as you think they are, and they can recognize these tests from a mile away. Especially if you've been together for a while, he knows that if he feeds into this, if he gives you any positive reinforcement, you're gonna do this over and over and over again, and it's just gonna get worse. When my kid is throwing a temper tantrum, I don't immediately feed into it. I say, hey, let's start over. What is a more appropriate way to get what you want? And that's exactly how this guy apparently needs to talk to his grown-ass wife. I'm gonna take a wild guess and say what she probably wanted was some quality time. She wanted to be together with him. I'm failing to see how creating an elaborate test designed to play on his insecurities and make him feel extremely negative emotions is a better choice than just texting, hey, do you want to come join me in the hot tub? Like, this might just seem like a small little hee-hee ha-ha funny moment between couples, but this is also why a lot of men are afraid of getting married. This might sound crazy, but men are afraid of providing so much stability that the woman gets so bored that she starts terrorizing him for entertainment, as we see here. And like, I'm sorry, but I don't think that this behavior came out of absolutely nowhere. This is probably so far from the first time she's done something like this. And I'll tell you this right now, this does not survive the gender swap. Could you imagine if a wife was laying out, just trying to catch some rays and relax while they're out at the water park, and then her husband starts insecurely texting her some bullshit about, some girl's totally hitting on me in the hot tub right now? He would be crucified, dragged straight to hell. And rightfully so, because that's such a weird, cringe, and annoying thing to do to your partner. If a guy ends up hitting on me during the day, unless it's a really, really funny story, there's no need for me to throw that in TJ's face when I can just handle it myself. Maybe I'm just traditional or something, but I honestly believe that it is the responsibility of the person who is being flirted with or hit on or pursued by someone who is not their partner to handle that situation. Again, unless it turns into harassment or stalking and you do need extra help. But 9.9 times out of 10, they're going to leave you alone if you say, not interested, leave me alone. The only reason guys continue to hit on these women or women continue to hit on these guys who are in relationships is because they're probably being entertained by that taken person. I get that it can be hard to like be mean to a person who's hitting on you, so I totally understand why people take the route of like, oh, I'm sorry, I'm taken. Some people hate it when a man says, I'm sorry, I'm taken, because like, what are you sorry for? But I get it, he's just trying to be polite. I've said the same thing before, and I'm not trying to say I'm actually sorry. I would just be so embarrassed if I was in a relationship where my partner was not able to defend our loyalty together and relied on me for that. I have never wanted to be one of those women who ends up in another woman's DMs like, you better quit talking to my man. No, that's my man's job to do. It is so embarrassing to be that partner who's like, hey, you quit talking to my partner. It just makes you look crazy, like they would have otherwise kept talking if it weren't for you, the insecure partner. She's taking all of the onus off herself. Like, well, I want to keep flirting with you, but my husband won't let me. I would hate that. But again, if you're asking me if I think there was ever really a guy hitting on her, press X to doubt. And I don't even know what this woman looks like. I don't know anything about her. I'm not trying to say that she's like too ugly to be hit on or whatever. It's just, again, from the caption, well, that didn't go as planned, it sounds like it was a plan. Lady, why can't you just chill and enjoy the water park like a normal person? I feel like she just listened to a bunch of those gross sprinkle bad dating advice videos where the women say like, stress your man out and he'll take care of you more. It's false. Stress your man out and he'll go bald faster. That's it. Stress your man out and he'll develop more heart problems. Stress your man out and he'll be filled with cortisol. That's all that's really gonna happen. He's not gonna love you more because you keep f***ing with him. For the texting your husband that someone is hitting on you in the hot tub test, I rate this one, along with all of the other tests, 0 out of 10. But oh, there's more. For our next test, we have the stop talking to him test. Yes, I know, women are posting left and right across all social media platforms how cruel, unusual, and devastating being ghosted is. It's one of the most evil, degenerate, and hurtful things that a man can do to completely ghost a woman out of nowhere. There's even a trend right now called posting the guy who ghosted me because what's he gonna do about it? Just like full identifiable face and everything, which does not survive the gender swap. Could you imagine posting the girl who ghosted me because what's she gonna do about it? People would be like, bro, get over it. This is weird. Why are you making that woman so unsafe right now? But shaming a man for simply not being interested in you anymore? Fine. And you know what else is fine? When women ghost men, because all they're doing is trying to get him to be more committed to her, apparently. And how do I know this? Well, because Real Talk with Kay told me so. And I'm not gonna gatekeep this brilliant wisdom from you guys. Let's watch it together.
The best advice I ever received was to not text men back instantly. Like all day texting, no. They will respect you so much more when you have the self-respect and dignity to not instantly text back. And this isn't about playing games. This is because you're busy living your life. And if they want to spend time with you and get your energy, they have to make plans. They should not just be getting your energy for free through texting, like your pen pals. Nothing.
I have a lot of thoughts, but I'll let her finish.
Is going to cause a man to lose respect for you more than than being super available. Now that I've really integrated that advice, men are treating me differently and respecting me more, actually putting in the work to pursue me and plan dates, because it is an unconscious signal that your time and energy are valuable and you're not just going to give it away to anybody for any reason.
First of all, ma'am, what are your credentials? Like, I'm sorry, but if a woman is going to be telling me how to win a man, how to get a man's respect, how to keep a man around, she better have one. Like, you can tell me as a woman things that men respect and things like that without necessarily having a man yourself. But there are too many single women giving other single women advice for how to get and keep a man, but they don't have the experience to show for it. Let's begin at the beginning of this test. She insists that not replying to a man is what will ultimately get him to respect you and pursue you more. This reminds me of an episode of Broad City, which is a satirical comedy show where the girls decide when they're going on dates that they're going to pretend to be completely mute and they cannot talk at all to see if they'll have more success with the men. And it's successful at first because the men start projecting so much onto these women and they're basically accidentally creating these dream girls because they don't actually know anything about them. But then as the episode goes on, it gets pretty hilarious because at one point Alana convinces TJ Miller's character that she's an orphan just by not replying to certain things. So then when he asks her if she's really an orphan and finds out from her expressions and silence that she's not, he gets horribly offended. That's a fictional example, but I also don't think that not replying to people strategically as a way to emotionally manipulate them has great long-term effects either. Someone also just blatantly lies to us with this line.
This isn't about playing games. This is because you're busy living your life.
No, it is about playing games, because if you were actually busy living your life, you wouldn't even think about whether or not to strategically text back or when. You would just be so busy that you would organically be texting back at a slower rate. That's what men are looking for. They're looking for an authentically busy person, not a person with fake hobbies or a fake life. They're trying to recreate the authentic image of a person who has so much going on that they can't naturally obsess over someone. But the problem is, she is obsessed with him to the point that she's changing around her entire daily strategy to curate this image of independence. I agree that it's not a great look to come off as too desperate too early on, but this is playing games. And correct me if I'm wrong in the comments, gentlemen, but I do believe that if a man is genuinely interested in a girl, like he really likes her, he's not gonna mind if she texts all day. As long as it's not double text, triple text, quadruple text, paragraph, paragraph, paragraph. But I think most guys, if they're genuinely interested in you, would love regular check-ins. And if a guy is just not that into you, he's really not going to respond very quickly at all, and you're gonna have to just take that for what it is. You matching that energy isn't going to make him more interested, because he's already not interested. Or he is actually busy, and you need to decide if that's a kind of lifestyle that you will be okay with, or if you're going to be constantly offended by it and playing competition with it to prove that you're the one who's actually busier. I cannot stress this enough, ladies. Men hate games, at least in their relationship. You want to play Mancala? He'll play some Mancala. You want to play Mario Kart? Oh, he's got you in Mario Kart. But you want to play, I'm going to say one thing but mean something completely different. Now you have to figure out where I'm going with this. No, he's done. That's crazy. You would hate that if a man did that to you. Don't worry, Prince is still here. Prince and I want to know what you think about these tests. Do you think that any of the tests that we talked about today have any validity, could actually work or prove something? If you had to pick which of the tests is the least breakup worthy, which one would you pick? That said, would you break up with someone over one of these tests, or do you think it's something you could work through? Like if it was just one test and then they never did it again after you talked about it? What about two? Could any of you deal with two tests and then still work through that? What is your cap? How much can a person test you? Look at me trying to test your boundaries. And finally, have you ever had any of these tests done on you? Do you think you passed or failed? Prince and I are dying to know what you think about all of this in the comments down below. If you enjoyed my coverage here, please hit like on this video. It really does help me push out into the algorithm a bit more and build my channel. Subscribing also helps. We're so close to the big 550,000 guys. We can get there. And I do go live about twice a week, so turn on the notification bell if you want those alerts. But all right, that is it for today's video. I will see you guys in the next one.